intersex? What does it mean?
Having sex indoors? I don't know.
This is the Rocketman at InfowarsCalifornia.com, home of the Deplorables. Thank you for listening. Did you hear what they're talking to these little kids about? This video is absolutely insane. It is absolutely shocking. I'm going to show you the whole video so that nobody can say that I took this out of context. This is crazy, crazy stuff. I view it as a form of child abuse. Let's see if you agree.
Thank you guys, first off, for being here to talk about gender. My name is Hennessy. What gender do you think I am?
I want you to see just how young these kids are and listen to what they're talking about.
Bet.
Male.
Cool. Anyone else?
Male. I heard earlier that you were transgender.
You're right, and you're right. I'm a transgender male.
When did you first realize you were transgender?
I didn't know I was a girl until someone told me I wasn't.
The fact is, there are men and there are women, and there are boys and there are girls. But the people that made this video have completely different ideas about this. The fact is, and if you go to any scientific authority, it is a fact. Men have an X and a Y chromosome, and women have two X chromosomes. That's the fundamental fact. This is reality. I'm a person who likes to deal in objective, factual reality. But we'll see that these people are quite mystical in their thinking. Maybe the saddest part is, even with this person's explanation, I don't know whether they are a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. I can't tell. I don't know. I'm sorry. I truly am sorry that I can't, even with the explanation, I can't decipher it. I don't know even what they think they are or what they really are. I have no idea what this person wants to be called, but I can't even decipher what this person just said.
It wasn't until way later that I heard the word transgender for the first time, although I've always been a guy. There's a lot of other words and terms that we can use to interact with all kinds of people in the world, so let's talk about them.
Transgender, I think it means your sex doesn't match up with your gender.
What do you think about transgender people? Are they all gay? Or?
No, it's a different category.
Isn't that lovely? They have the kids telling us about sex. Yes, that's... I can't even, beyond words. My head has been spinning with all the different questions and implications about this video. But they're putting in kids' heads the idea, because they got to get them when they're young. You know, like Hillary said, it takes a village, right? Got to microchip them when they're young. Oh boy, this stuff is beyond. They're putting in kids' heads the idea that you could be born one gender and somehow you're a different gender. I'm puzzled on this. But the fact of the matter is, if they're saying anything along the lines of what they're saying, then it blows away any claims of gender discrimination, right? The gender wage gap argument has to fall, correct? And at least half a dozen, maybe a dozen other things, right? Do they really want all these other arguments they've been making to fall? Do they not realize the implications of what they're saying? The insanity, the absolute insanity?
So then tell me what sexual orientation is.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
As for sexual orientation, I simply say point that thing in another direction.
Who you want to be with, who you're attracted to.
This is absolutely sick, disgusting, appalling. You're not supposed to be talking to little kids about who they're attracted to, who they want to be with. It's physically revolting.
Z, Zer, like when you don't call yourself male or female.
Z and Zer has been one of the gender-neutral pronouns created for people that don't identify with he and her.
Okay, so the people don't want to be called he or her, so we call them Z or Zer? What's the difference? We're still acknowledging gender, right? I don't even think they know what they mean. I think they're just completely confused because there's so many levels at which this stuff is completely contradictory.
Gender fluid. It's like
I don't know
always
where it
going.
came from.
Moves, I guess. I don't know.
It's like more masculine one day, more feminine the other day, and your identity shifts.
Gender fluid. That sounds completely disgusting. This stuff just gets more and more insane, especially if you combine the things. Somebody's more masculine one day and more feminine the next day, right? So how do I know whether to call them Z or Zer on a given day? How about this? Just keep your gender fluid to yourself.
Cisgender.
The sex and the reproductive organs that you were born with match your given gender identity at birth.
So let me see if I've got this straight. The sex and the organs match the given gender identity at birth. This is how far identity politics goes. The assertion that we have a gender identity at birth, that we somehow choose and assert a gender identity when we are a newborn. What level of insanity? How deep can they go? How deep can it go?
Intersex is when someone's body parts isn't exactly penis or vagina. And it can be both, it can be half of each.
If they're a little bit different,
Look at how close his fingers are together. They're talking with little kids and saying that half and half is a little bit different, and I just don't think this is an appropriate conversation for children. What do you think?
you're intersex, agender.
First thing I want to point out is that this person that is holding the sign on the right, I have to say it that way because we don't know what gender this person identifies with. If this person identifies with being a male, though, then that person is manspreading. You're not supposed to have your legs spread apart like that. If you're a male, you're taking up space, and males are not supposed to do that. If it's a female, then she's probably just exercising her natural femininity.
Like you don't really identify with either male or female and you're kind of in the middle.
Calling yourself a man doesn't feel right. Calling yourself a woman doesn't feel right.
That is the issue, and it really is the only issue. These people don't want to call themselves a man or don't want to call themselves a woman. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. It only matters what you really are. That is the issue, and it is the only issue. So now we have all the different combinations. We have agender, which is no gender at all, right? The only things that we don't have is boys and girls, men and women. We have people that are gender fluid. We have Z's and Zers. We have every other type of craziness under the sun. This is designed on purpose. It is designed on purpose to destroy our society, to destroy the American family, and ultimately to bring down America itself.
What do you do if you're agender and you're going to the bathroom? Which one would you go to?
Just whichever one has a shorter line.
That's what I'm saying.
If kids can get it, why can't we? Oh, how clever, using reverse logic. Of course, we always go to our kids for advice, especially about stuff like sex and gender and whether they should have their dick chopped off. I mean, let's be honest. They're putting the idea in little boys' heads that they should have their dick chopped off. And they're putting the idea in little boys' and little girls' heads that they should have hormones. Hormones. Before they can make any kind of rational decision, any kind of reasonable decision about these things.
Exactly.
This video was put out by a group called She Knows. Ooh, she knows, she knows. I guess it's her feminine instinct. She just knows stuff that men don't know. She's kind of magical that way. This is from their own website. It's their mission statement. It says, "Our mission, with a mission of women inspiring women, period." And the words "women inspiring women" is in bold. And I would note for you, that's not a complete sentence. it should probably have a comma there instead of a period. I don't know where these people went to school. This does seem very contradictory and confusing, though, because women inspiring women, how do we know what is a woman? What does somebody identify as on any particular occasion, at any particular moment? This particular video got a lot of write-ups in a lot of newspapers. I'm going to run in the background 10 examples of this same story, including playing on CNN. You'll notice that the media is so integrated that a lot of these are affiliates of one another, and so their websites look very similar. The mainstream media walks in lockstep. That's why the wording for all of these stories is exactly the same. I'm going to go with this one from CNN. Again, they're all exactly the same. It says, here's a way to start a conversation with kids about being transgender. Why are you starting the conversation with the kids? All of these articles say, and I quote, "She knows Hatch program focuses on citizenship." I've tried to look up what hatch means. It doesn't sound good, like they're hatching little beasts or something. I don't know. But when they say focus on citizenship, when I was a Boy Scout, I remember the very first award I ever got was this little award that went on my belt, and it was for citizenship, and it had nothing to do with anything like this. How parents can learn from their kids. Like Levkov, Hennessy is the person that we saw in the video. Hennessy can't emphasize enough how the more honest and open you are with your child about sexuality and gender, the better. Now, all of us can agree that you want to be open. It's the subjects that you're talking about, and it's the fact that you're advocating certain things that are drastic and extreme, non-traditional things. Quote, "I say as soon as they start asking you, answer the questions, no matter how old they are. As soon as they start asking you, because if you don't answer them, someone else will, and you can choose what they hear first," he said. "It takes the mysticism out of sex. It takes the pervertedness out of sex." Well, sex is not perverted. See, normal heterosexual sex is not perverted. The thing is that they are adding into this definition of sex all sorts of things that are not sex, whatever gets them off. And the kids are not going to be coming to their parents. I don't know what world this person lives in, but kids are not coming to their parents asking them questions about this stuff. And again, it's not about whether you should talk to your kids. It's the level of perversion. See, he says it takes the pervertedness out of sex. Yes, but it doesn't take the pervertedness out of perversion. And down at the bottom it says, Levkov believes there is really no such thing as what conversation is age appropriate. It all depends on the individual. Again, we are in agreement. It's the fact that you are advocating really perverted, drastic things that are going to possibly wreck the child's life for the rest of their life. And you might even shorten their life by this policy. There are a lot of people in this world, a lot of people, who are going to try to manipulate and take advantage of your children. They're going to try to abuse your children. They're going to try to fill your children with all sorts of crazy thoughts. When they're out there, you're not going to be able to watch over them. What type of crazy people are out there putting crazy thoughts in their head? You might call me old-fashioned, but I don't think anybody should be telling your kid to chop their dick off. Thank you so much for listening. This is all about you. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Thank you again so much for listening, and until next time, Rocketman out.